Good morning. It's Monday, November 22nd. Well, thanks for starting your week with Top Story. A little Thanksgiving treat for you this week. We're loading the full World Watch show and a little fair warning too. Jump on a great opportunity this weekend when you'll be able to order 6 months of the show for yourself, family, or friends for just $20. And we hope you enjoy this sample of the full show and take the time to like and subscribe below. Now, this is World Watch here at Top Story. Good morning. It's Monday, November 22nd, and this is World Watch.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty.
That's Kyle Rittenhouse after a jury in Kenosha, Wisconsin said the 18-year-old acted in self-defense when he killed 2 men and injured a third during a riot in Kenosha last year. The trial gained national prominence as members of the political left, including elected officials, athletes, actors, and journalists, claimed the actions of Rittenhouse during that riot were racist and that the U.S. judicial institutions are systematically racist as well, even though the 3 men shot were white. In a campaign video by then-candidate Joe Biden in September of 2020, he said of Donald Trump, "The President of the United States refused to disavow white supremacists on the debate stage last night." That video included images of Kyle Rittenhouse. On the flip side, members of the political right asserted the young man was there to defend property in the city and was only acting in self-defense.
How shocked are we that 17-year-olds with rifles decided they had to maintain order when no one else would?
Protests broke out in several cities following Rittenhouse's acquittal. In Portland, Oregon, rioters chased police into a garage while starting small fires in the city. However, protests in cities like New York, Chicago, and Oakland, California were largely peaceful. An original copy of the U.S. Constitution, one of just 13 of the documents still around from the Constitutional Convention of 1787, hit the auction block last week. A group of investors wanted to purchase the historic document with modern money, cryptocurrency, in fact. The group, known as Constitution Dow, pooled their money, raising $40 million. But a private collector outbid them at $41 million. So close. Constitution Dow had hoped to buy the rare document to put on display for the public. But the group says it still made history with the largest crowd fund for an object that they know of. This is the first year that auction house Sotheby's has accepted cryptocurrency, which is becoming an increasingly popular form of payment. The U.S. House of Representatives has passed President Biden's Build Back Better spending plan. That despite getting a low grade from the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office.
We have Built Back Better bill that is historic, transformative, and larger than anything we have ever done before.
It is indeed the largest.
It's fully paid for. Fully paid. It does not increase the deficit 1 single cent.
That didn't turn out to be true, at least according to the CBO, which says the president's plan will increase the deficit by $160 billion. It aims to spend nearly $1 trillion on social programs, and Republicans objected to both its size and its priorities.
What we have before us isn't a social spending bill. It's a pathway to socialism.
That's House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy in the longest ever speech delivered on the House floor, trying to defeat or delay the spending, but to no avail. How big is soccer in the world? Well, consider more than a decade ago, the tiny but wealthy nation of Qatar was selected to host the 2022 World Cup, and the nation went nuts. Every country wants to impress on the world stage, and now, exactly 1 year out, 5 of the 8 stadiums for the games are already built, and Qatar is showing them off. All the stadiums sit within 30 miles of each other in the capital city of Doha. Really dedicated fans could make it to up to 4 games in one day. So they could start at this one in the morning that looks like a luxurious Middle Eastern tent with an enormous red carpet, and finish at the stadium built with shipping containers.
The special thing about this stadium is it's been designed and constructed in a way to be dismantled afterwards.
and used again elsewhere. Now, just 12 teams will make the World Cup, with Brazil and Argentina the only teams to earn a spot so far.
Additional support for World Watch comes from Heart of Dakota, providing Christ-centered, literature-based homeschool curriculum from preschool through high school. Get a free catalog today.
The president's spending plan goes to the Senate, where the question of how to pay for it will continue to loom. Ways could include everything from cutting other spending to raising taxes to creating new taxes. Congress may need to stretch to raise billions in new revenue, as shown by one proposal in recent weeks to create a tax on unrealized gains. Caleb, I know the idea is similar to the capital gains tax people pay when they sell something at a profit, right?
Think of it this way. The very wealthiest among us often get that way through investments that grow in value, make gains, and avoid losses. Investments take many forms, but we'll use one as an example here: stocks. Stocks are simply shares of a company that anyone can buy, like Amazon, Netflix, Home Depot. When you buy a share of a company, whether you pay $10 or $10,000 per share, you are part owner. And here's how you make money on that. As a company grows in value, profits are often distributed to all of the stock owners in the form of what's called dividends. But the value of a company's shares can rise for other reasons too. A new invention, high demand for its product, you name it. So let's say I bought a share at $30 and the share value rises to $40. I now have a $10 gain. Notice I didn't say I made $10. I said I have a $10 gain. I don't actually make any money until I sell my share. Until then, that $10 is an unrealized gain. It's these pre-sale gains that the new tax plan targets. One way billionaires avoid taxes on their valuable investments is by just holding on to them, not selling and taking the profit, which would be income and taxable under existing law.
Today, US billionaires have about $5 trillion in wealth, according to Forbes magazine. And of this, about $3 trillion are unrealized capital gains.
Sounds pretty simple, but if the concept of a billionaire tax is approved, there's no reason that the tax couldn't someday be applied to your average Joe or your average Caleb. And then there's the Constitution. It's the 16th Amendment that allows the government to collect taxes on income. But remember that example of my $10 gain and how I don't actually receive this Alexander Hamilton until I sell the stock? Well, a billionaire tax almost certainly will lead to lawsuits, and if the courts agree that it's unconstitutional, the government may have to go back to waiting until gains become actual income.
This isn't a math or science lesson. These kids in Afghanistan are learning to spot landmines and unexploded ordnance. Paying attention could save their lives. The village of Nadi Ali was a battlefield in the war between the Taliban and the National Army. Homes and schools were destroyed, and residents are still dealing with unexploded ordnance. According to the United Nations Mine Action Services, since 1989, over 41,000 Afghan civilians have been killed or injured by landmines. More than 2/3 were children. To prevent more casualties, an organization named HALO has been working to make land safe to use once again. Teams use metal detectors and place markers where further inspection and removal is needed. It's a daunting task that takes an immense amount of patience, precision, and bravery.
We've been told many times that this work is dangerous. I have children, but if they get injured by a mine, it would devastate me. We clean these areas so that people can live normally without fear and danger.
The mine detection process is marked with a simple code: painted red rocks for danger, white for safe areas.
Yes, I am afraid, but I know that when I see white stones we can play there, and when it's red, we can't play there.
Kids and villagers aren't the only ones benefiting from this work.
We give jobs to young men who are forced through desperation to join the insurgency or had joined the army. We take the rifle off them and we give them a mine detector.
Slowly, land can be made safe again, but watching these workers, we're reminded, even after the shooting stops, war has a long and terrible legacy.
If your friend jumped out of a plane, would you? Well, these 40 women said, why not? As they made the daring leap from an altitude of 16,000 feet. Now, on their way down, they managed to link up in 3 different formations. And you know what? That one kind of looks like the World Watch logo. Well, the team features individuals from all over the country, as well as Spain and Paraguay. Together, they broke the state sequential skydiving record for Arizona, which was set 10 years ago. A single bear roaming your neighborhood is one thing, but how about 5? This clan of grizzlies was caught on camera cruising through the beautiful mountain town of Jackson, Wyoming. Local police and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service have been tracking Mama, affectionately named Bear number 399, and her 4 babes, trying to get them safely back to the Grand Teton National Park, all without any human interaction. Good idea, because while they're cute on camera, a run-in with a grizzly usually doesn't end well. Make sure to check out the full-sided worldwatch.news. You can try out the show free for $1. And remember, whatever the news, the purpose of the Lord will stand.